So it turns out the big announcement that Gearbox had on May 9th was a brand new DLC for Risk of Rain 2. DLC3, or as we like to call it, Alloyed Collective, Seekers of the Solus. Oh wow, look at that, guys. It's about the Risk of Rain 2 AI. Very topical. Here's what we know about everything in the DLC. First off, there's an announcement trailer with a few Easter eggs scattered here and there. We'll go over that in a second. A Steam page and a dev diary. From the Steam page and dev diary, we know there are going to be 6 new stages, 2 new survivors, 1 returning from an old game and 1 original survivor, 7 new drones and some kind of station to modify these drones, 7 new enemies. They look like they're going to be Solus enemies, 2 new bosses. One's a teleporter boss and one is a final boss that reshapes the end game, and 15 new items. Now, a lot of people have been wondering, wait a minute, how is there already an announcement trailer and everything for this? And was Gearbox working on this while they were trying to fix Seekers of the Storm? To answer your question, all you have to do is go to the top of the dev diary. While we've been releasing updates for Seekers of the Storm, we've also brought in some additional folks that are familiar with Risk of Rain to help us build out the next DLC. And yes, the truth is, guess what? Me and a bunch of other community members from Risk of Rain were invited down to Gearbox to play DLC3 and play test it. They made me sign an NDA, but I can't read, so I don't think it's legally binding. So don't worry, there's multiple Easter eggs in this video to leak everything. But fun stuff aside, the DLC, when I was playing it, was insanely good. When I was streaming the announcement and talking to people in the chat, I was telling them that even though I just played this about a month ago, and obviously it was just a playtest version where they were trying to get feedback from people, I think if it released today, people would like this better than current Seekers of the Storm. On top of that, the developers were very open to feedback and very interested in everything that everyone had to say. And while we're not supposed to reveal who was there, and this person has already revealed this story, but I'll still just let you guess who it was. During the playtest, I was chilling and vibing out to the new music that's in the DLC. It's a vibe. RGB headset going crazy mode. I noticed out of the corner of my eye, there is a group of developers, like 6 or 7 of them, swarming the person that was on the final boss. It was hilarious, but also at the same time, it's cool that the developers cared that much. Plus, nearly everyone there, even though we gave our feedback on certain things that were in the DLC, thought the entire thing was awesome. And while I can't exactly talk about what was in it, I can only talk about the things that have already been revealed. Every single part of the DLC was very good. The 2 new survivors, if they were out right now, would be some of my favorites. I like them better than any of the survivors from the previous DLCs. The items were super interesting, and they definitely were not a Seekers of the Storm on release type deal, and neither were the bosses. I can't really say anything more than that, but I will say 2 very important things. 1, even though a lot of people have already come out and said that they played it and it was great and everything, the developers warned us that it was just an early playtest and they were looking for feedback for stuff, so there is certain stuff that might not be added into the game, and there's other stuff that might be added into the game. The whole point of us going down there was to give feedback for the DLC, so obviously things are going to change. So even if I did leak the entire DLC that I saw down there, the final version is probably going to end up a lot different. And number 2, I say this a lot on stream, but I don't really say it as much in videos. The development team for Risk of Rain 2, while technically working for Gearbox, is not Gearbox as a whole. The developers there genuinely care about Risk of Rain 2, so any animosity you have towards Gearbox, please don't point that at the individuals. Risk of Rain 2 is a company owned by a company that's owned by a company that I think is owned by a holding company that many other companies own parts in. Makes my head spin. When does this come out? For most of this content, I'm going to have to be treated like an empathy core, quiet and delighted, but I genuinely have no idea. It took roughly 9 months from the announcement trailer of Seekers of the Storm being released to Seekers of the Storm actually being released. Also keep in mind that Seekers of the Storm released last year in August, and if you look at the dev diary, they mentioned that there's going to be stuff coming out in the coming months. My guess is that they're going to try to release it this year. I think the earliest they would do that is August, but I'm going to predict that it's going to be a little bit later than August. While I think this DLC is already better than Seekers of the Storm, I don't think they want to release this and have the risk of it being a buggy mess that people don't like, so they might take their time a little bit longer on this one. I'm locking it in. My prediction is this year, mainly because I want to play it now. Also, they're going to be releasing an optimization patch according to the dev diary. So not only does this mean that we're going to see the optimization patch before the DLC releases, but that finally means that low-end PCs and Switch players can enjoy the game on more than just 20 FPS, which is good because I've heard rumors that the difficulty is going to be tied to that. Just kidding. Haha. Okay, well, now there's not really much left for me to say. I have to kind of wait until they release more stuff. Then I can yap about it with you. But I think I'm going to blow the lid on who this new survivor is going to be. If you watch the live announcement, one of the people presenting the Gearbox main event announced that they were recently having a kid.
Had our first child. Can we load up that picture of my kid?
And if you go to the Steam page and you go down to the stages list, there's a map that says survive and be rewarded with loot scattered through winding caves where iron veins once ran. What do the children yearn for?
Chicken jockey.
Mines. I think these 2 pieces of evidence are pretty damning. They're adding miners to Risk of Rain 2. People will do anything to get Dr. Disrespect to play the game, huh?